Aloha, it's Dave Lawrence. How are you? I hope you're doing good. A big mahalo for listening. Today we have a monster guest on the line, one of music's most important artists, literally of all genres, of all time, one of funk's most important pioneers. First with the Parliaments, then Funkadelic, Parliament, P-Funk All-Stars, solo albums, producing albums, currently fighting to reclaim copyrights on his legendary material. He's also announced an innovative new project, Mothership, the Decatur Connection, a collaboration we'll hear about too as we free our minds and get into all things funk. I am so honored to welcome this guy, one of my personal heroes, George Clinton. Aloha. Aloha, brother.
How you doing, man?
I am doing good, giving you a big hug and a big high five.
Hey, I'm doing good myself. Been defleet, de-ticked, and got my rabies shot. I'm ready to bury the bone.
The atomic dog himself in the house. I love it. Last time I saw you, George, we were on your tour bus. It was 1999. It was in Providence, Rhode Island, and I sang to you, Red Hot Mama from Louisiana, working her way to Savannah. She been cooped up too long.
Oh, yeah.
And you loved it, so I just had to sing to you again, man. And
Where you in Hawaii?
Yeah, man, I'm in Honolulu, Hawaii.
Oh, that's good.
You ever make it out here? Have you played here before?
Yeah.
What's your memory of being here?
When I was playing there, I used to come there to write. I did a lot of writing there. Bootsy's albums and clones and Funkadelic. I did all those down in Maui and in Honolulu.
What's your enduring memory of coming out here and doing those projects?
Out on the beach watching people jump off the mountain and the hang gliders and, and parasailing and walking around the whole island of Maui.
And just experiencing it, so you liked it, but you never played live. It was just to write, you're saying?
Yeah, just hanging out, yeah.
Now, I've been
fishing.
Say again?
I went fishing there a few times.
What'd you catch? You remember anything good?
My.
My favorite, brother.
Yep.
So, Brother George, before we get into the heavy-duty funk music stuff, I got to give you a moment just to address this thing because I know it's important to you. It's important to all of us who love you and care about you so much. The reclaiming of the rights, the copyright battle. Where is it at the moment?
Well, we're getting ready to go. We got filed charges, and we're getting ready to go to court on it with the judge that gave me the 4 Funkadelic albums back: One Nation, Uncle Jam, Hardcore Jollies, and Electric Spanking. So we get ready to go back in front of him again, because I just filed suit against the same people who took the stuff since 1980. And we got the U.S. Congress trying to pass laws now to see that it don't happen to other people again. And it's looking pretty good.
You're optimistic. So when it comes to the status of the earliest recordings, like the earliest Funkadelic recordings, what's the...
Well, those are the ones that we face for now.
Okay, that's what the battle is.
That's what we get ready to go into court about right now.
Wow, that is very, very heavy, and that goes all the way to Let's Take It to the Stage, I guess?
All the way back to Funkadelic and Free Your Mind.
Right, no, I'm saying, yeah, starting with Funkadelic, Free Your Mind and Your Ass Will Follow, Maggot Brain, America Eats Its Young, Standing on the Verge, Cosmic Slop, all those, all the way up through Let's Take It to the Stage, all of those?
It was the Tales of Kid Funkadelic.
Okay, all the way to Tales. Got it. Mm-hmm. What a batch of music to have to fight to get back the control of. How did that happen?
It wasn't that big at first, and the guy wasn't paying us at all anyway. But then in the 80s, hip-hop started, and they started sampling it. It started becoming very important music. It was important before that, but, not enough to waste no money fighting in court over it. And then all of a sudden it got huge. So now it's worth the fight, in the courts to try to get it back.
The value increased. I totally get what you're talking about on so many fronts, but it was already, I get what you mean. I get what you mean. So now after this battle goes forward, is there a timeline you think you expect to spend the next year or so struggling with that one?
I would say about another year.
On the tail end of it, do you think you're going to be reissuing material, maybe doing some bonus tracks, things that people haven't?
I'm going to be reissuing some of them this year, because I have do on a lot of this stuff already, and I have the versions of the older things that that I recorded back then that I just didn't turn in. So I still have versions of this stuff, but I'm putting them out now. I'm going to put out something. We put out a movie called Dope Dogs.
Right, yep. I'm familiar with it.
But we're doing a movie on it now.
Wow, so you're going to make a movie using that theme?
Yeah, animated.
Oh. I like that. Animated would be fun.
Yeah, but it's going to be all those dogs that was in that album, Dope Dogs, plus a few other new songs will be added to it.
When you think, George, as we talk about some of these classic tracks, I guess it's important to just go back there. What influenced you? I think a lot of people, I try to think of things to ask you that I've never seen you answer before. So one of those things is, and maybe you have, but it's not readily available in print. When you think of yourself as a little boy or as an impressionable kid, name some of the artists who moved you to get into music and make you the music lover you are.
Frankie Lyman. The Spaniels, Louis Jordan, mostly, the doo-wop groups, like I said, Cadillacs and all those doo-wop groups that used to be at the Apollo Theater, from like 15 on up to 18. And then right after that, then you got Motown started, Smokey and the Temptations. By that time, we got our first hit record right after the Temptations started, which was Testify.
Right.
Motown had a great influence on me. Then the Beatles and Sly Stone, who I'm working with now. But I've let almost everybody influence me as I do music. I let whatever's going on influence me, especially music that you hear other musicians or adults say that's not real music. That's not music. When I hear somebody say that, I make sure that I get a chance to hear that music and mess with it, because that to me is gonna be the next music. Whenever you hear somebody say that ain't music,
right? It makes you want to explore, is what you're saying, even more.
Yeah, that's because that's the way kids are. And kids love stuff that you tell them they can't do.
When you were a kid, what were you told you couldn't do that you wanted to get into?
Well, first of all, music was one. But I'm talking about anything that, somebody tell you not to do, don't play with this or don't go there. You do it. I mean, as a kid, those are the things that make you say, why not?
Right. No,
that's what intelligence is, to question, why not?
I wonder, when I hear that list of names who were so important to you, I didn't hear James Brown in there. How does he fit into your musical education?
Well, only when I got older. Because when growing up, he was like older people's music.
I got it. He was already for older people's music. The stuff you named was more for younger people and contemporary. Yes,
the kids. I mean, when I first heard James Brown, that was when people going out to clubs and old enough to to drink and everything. It wasn't. I mean, you love James. I mean, if you went to a show that he was at, went nowhere around it, because he was the shit. Before as wanting to do it yourself, it was like I reached until we got older and got to writing and doing music ourselves. And then when you started hearing Papa Got a Brand New Bag, when you started doing that, that changed for a lot of people,
including you,
including me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I can imagine. I can imagine that, because when I the fact is, really, I would say it's James Brown and yourself. You guys are really the most important people. You know this. I don't have to tell you. I tell you nothing. And the question I would have, though, George, is one of the things that makes you such a pioneer is the heavy sound that Funkadelic had, and the ingredients of Eddie Hazel's sound. I wonder if it's Eddie Hazel, Bernie Worrell. If you could just talk a little bit about the making it heavy, that was really a special thing.
Well, I mean, Eddie Hazel, Bernie Worrell, Billy Bass, Tiki, and Tara Ross. That was the first band, and they was all like 15 and 16 years old. I brought Eddie and Billy the instruments as they was learning. And they learned under Jameson and Benny Benjamin and all of those people at Motown. But at the same time, the Who and all of the rock and roll stuff was beginning to happen. Jimi Hendrix. So they had a chance to learn all that stuff at one time, and they became like the Low Funk Brothers in Detroit. And then when we, started hearing the psychedelic part, they became like a psychedelic funk band, and that's where we got the concept from. Sly come along, and we hear the bass and Larry Graham stuff. And we already was playing rock and roll, but then we started, putting emphasis on the real low end when Bootsy came with us.
So Bootsy, you look at Bootsy.
Bootsy brought Fred Wesley and Maceo, Kush, the Catfish. So we had basically James Brown band for a minute.
Yeah. Totally, dude. I mean, you had these monsters. I mean, and to this day, Maceo and Fred, you look at them as having crucial alumni, yeah?
Yes. I mean, they're alumni everywhere, with us and with James.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I just talked to both of them, actually. I did a thing on the radio with both of them, and they're just such wonderful people. They speak so highly and lovingly of you. And also another cat who I guess deserves a lot of recognition, and it would be inappropriate if I didn't give him some moment here, Gary Scheider.
Wow, yes. Yes, Gary Scheider was in my right hand, for, all through that stuff.
What's your most, when you think of how you have to live without him as part of the band, what's the biggest challenge or difference of not having him there?
Well, just, his voice, first of all, but his son is with us now. And he actually take up a lot of that space.
Okay.
Garrett is with us now, and he take a lot of that space up. His younger brother was with us a minute, but Garrett still is. But between Garrett Scheider and Glenn Gowen.
Right.
I mean, that was a powerful voice, too.
Yep. Totally. No, it was. I mean, when I think of late at night, you hear her call, all alone, I hear her call. I don't know. There's just some words, that are associated with Gary that I associate with both of you. I guess you know how it is. It's.
Yeah, well, his son sings the hell out of that.
I bet. That's good to know. Being here in Hawaii, I don't get to see you, my brother. I got to make a pilgrimage and see the newest lineup. When you think about your vision for layering of grooves, George, and that sort of orchestrated chaos of your live approach, how did that really is a vision? True?
Yeah. Yes. Having Bernie Worrell in the band, you learn a lot of techniques and and things, how to analyze things. And he gave us a lot of information on layering, tracks on top of tracks. And, and making them stay out of each other's way.
And is that something to this day, though? Do you find you're using that's something you feel like Bernie is who you give credit to that too?
Oh, yeah.
What brought about this collaboration, this project, Mothership, the Decatur Connection?
I worked with one of the kids there, Backstreet, Backwood Boys, a while back, and he came along with these kids doing the mashup stuff. And I knew him, so we just started clowning, and they're pretty good at mashing up records. So we just got together and did it.
It's neat how you've been able to reincorporate these themes throughout your career, making these classic tracks come back again in so many different ways that are creative and fresh. The Mothership theme, can you still remember when that was a brand new idea and how it came to be?
Well, just the fact that we had Fred and Bootsy and all of them together along with our band. We were doing Bootsy's album, and we were talking about outer space was the theme at the time, but we felt like that was a connection between James Brown and us. That was the mother, the Mothership connection.
Oh, man.
And we just mixed it up with jazz and blue, funk and rock, and that was our thing, the Mothership Connect. We was headed for outer space, and we knew it.
Yes, you were, my brother. I'm just bowing in awe because you just summed it up so beautifully there. That Mothership that you brought out in '96, George, was that actually the same one, or was that a remake of the Mothership?
That was a remake. We just gave it to the Smithsonian Institute.
The remake you gave to them?
Yep.
From 1996, and it was made to look pretty much authentic, like the original one.
Yeah, it was the same. It was the same blueprint.
That is something else. Has the sound of the master plan for the live show changed in the last several years, or is it still ain't no party like a P-Funk party because the P-Funk party don't stop?
It's still that. It's a different song, but it's still that. It's still that. You're gonna hear some new stuff pretty soon. That'll reassure you that there ain't no party like a P-Funk party.
But the live show has not changed with like the Gary departing. I guess what you're saying is you're keeping the theme of the P-Funk All-Stars magic alive.
Oh, yes. Yes, it's still there.
Michael's still in the band.
Yep.
Is when you think about the records, George, is there a particular record that you hold dearest to you or that you have the most love for or pride, perhaps?
Well, probably Knee Deep would probably be the one I would have for as making a record, producing a record. That one, and then Atomic Dog. But most of them, it's hard to find one that I like particularly more than the rest of them. But those two, I think, studio-wise, came out really unequal.
In terms...
Knee Deep, and then again, Atomic Dog.
Okay. Two, that obviously that really have burned an impression in your mind. Was there also a thing, George, when you realized that the distinction between Parliament and Funkadelic had been blurred beyond keeping them separate?
Well, no, not really, because I still can see them, the difference in them, but we never was going to be separated, as an entity, because that was the band was one side of us, and the singing was another side, so we never ever saw it any other way but together.
So it was really two sides of the same group.
Yeah.
Is that basically a good summary of it?
Yes, basically it, yeah.
As a final note with you, just sort of tell you, I really appreciate you taking time to talk with us. It's been fascinating to get this insight. And as things progress with your legal battle, if you feel like you need an outlet to help reach people, I'd really love to be any kind of assistance for you.
Okay, I'll remember that, and I'll give you a call.
I'll give you a big hug. You stay safe, George.
Okay, man.
It meant a lot to talk to you, brother.
Sure.
It really did.
Okay, man, you got it.
Be safe. Aloha.
Yo, this is George Dr. Funkenstein Clinton saying we are one nation under a groove with our friend Dave Lawrence. Okay, yo, this is George Dr. Funkenstein Clinton, and we are one nation under a groove with our good friend Dave Lawrence. He do the dog, y'all. Yo, this is George Dr. Funkenstein Clinton saying all things really are considered when you tune into my good friend, Dave Lawrence. This is George Dr. Funkenstein Clinton saying, hey, Dave, have a happy 420 and do the dog for me.